So while adventuring through southern Spain, I seem to have found myself roaming the streets of yet another interesting city full of epic history. Let me show you around a bit.
Yes, that's right. Today we're exploring our way into history as we take a look at architectural delights that represent a dynasty that once dominated this region, as well as the kingdom that would topple it. So now, it is time to sit back and relax as I take you on a tour of Granada. Now let's start things off with that church you saw in the beginning. It was actually the monastery of San Geronimo. Its construction is said to have started in 1504. Just up the street we have the Baroque-styled 18th century Basilica de San Juan de Dios. You'll find these streets to be pleasantly lined with decorative orange trees, and countless examples of nice architecture too. Back out on the main avenue, we'll head toward the intersection to begin making our way south, in search of another wondrous landmark. And right here it is, complete with more of those decorative orange trees. Its construction began in the early 1500s on the site of the old Muslim Medina. And what you see now is the Cathedral of Granada. This land was under control of the Moors from the 8th century till the end of the 15th century. Granada was actually the last Muslim emirate on the Iberian Peninsula. It was after the Reconquista that Spain would once again be ruled by Christian monarchs. In a few minutes, we'll be taking a walk up a big hill to have a look at the Moorish stronghold known as the Alhambra. Now, let's keep going and see what else we can find. Take a look at the statues above this magnificent fountain. They are said to depict a meeting between Queen Isabella and Christopher Columbus. On down the road, we have a building which was constructed in the 1500s to house the Royal Chancellery, and today it serves as the Andalucía High Court of Justice. Now take a look at this 16th century Renaissance fountain. What a cool sight. It's still in working order too. You'll actually find all kinds of hidden gems like this scattered throughout this part of town. And right next to it we have the parish church of San Gil and Santa Anna that was built in 1537. Along this pleasant stretch of road, you'll not only find amazing history and architecture, but also an assortment of fine establishments where you can enjoy a bit of food and drink along the way. And you're definitely going to need that energy for what is to come. As we pass by this Renaissance palace, we'll walk through a large gate that was constructed after the conquest. Now, it is finally time for us to make our ascent up the hill toward the Alhambra. You'll find all kinds of interesting things on this hike, including a statue of Washington Irving, who is said to have lived around here for a short time in the 1820s. Here we have another marvelous fountain, this one dedicated to Carlos V, and the mighty structure found right around the corner, that is the Gate of Justice. Yes, I did tell you it's a bit of a walk, and you know things are serious when I'm getting into hat mode. Now that we've finally arrived up top, it is time to see about those tickets to get us inside.
So after all that huffing and puffing along that strenuous walk, I finally made my way all the way to the top with great excitement. Just to learn that, yes, of course, tickets are completely sold out. Not even one person can slide in. But here's what's cool. You can actually walk all around this thing and see it from the outside without even paying to get in. It is a long, hard walk up to the top, but it's definitely worth checking out. I recommend it.
Yeah, I know you were hoping to get a look at the interior to see firsthand what everyone claims to be such an amazing experience. And so was I. But you know what? A walk around the exterior of this place is pretty amazing itself. So let's continue. As you stroll your way down the hill along the other side, you'll see a series of towers connected by ramparts. Most of these strategically placed defensive structures were built between the 13th and 14th centuries. As we wander our way back down the path, I must remind you some of the best is yet to come. So stay with me.
Now, if you are all about seeing the Alhambra, don't go anywhere because I've got some really cool stuff coming up. There's a lot more downtown that we can take a look at.
Yes, there's a lot to see down here, like this statue of the famous flamenco dancer, Mario Maya. Here we have the Church of San Pedro and San Pablo, which was constructed in the mid-1500s after that Reconquista. Just across from that, we have the Archaeological Museum of Granada. Beyond this picturesque courtyard, you'll be treated to a collection of artifacts that showcase the complex history of the region, including the days of the Romans, who would be a great inspiration for the other civilizations that would follow. Something else you'll find in this area is an Arabic bathhouse. This well-preserved structure dates back to sometime between the 11th and 12th centuries. This was during the Moorish rule of the region. Now take a look at these decorative star-like holes that let sunlight in from above. These features work well at adding a bit of illumination to the otherwise dimly lit chambers. It is said that bathhouses like this not only provided for hygiene, but also function as places for social gatherings too. Just imagine witnessing this place at its peak. Pretty impressive, I think. Now, of course, you need to do some souvenir shopping while roaming about, and you know I gotta have one of those fridge magnets. It is now time for us to ascend a bit higher up the hill, across from the one that we already climbed, in search of some of the best viewpoints in town. Along the way, you'll find these scenic hillside streets to be home to a handful of monasteries. Most of these are not actually open to the public. But don't go anywhere, there are a few more historic locations on up ahead too. At one of those buildings, we'll actually be going inside to do a bit of exploring into a time period that represents the great deal of change that this area once witnessed. First, well, we got to make a few more twists and turns up to the top of the hill to get there. This is the Mirador de San Nicolas, which seems to be absolutely packed with pleasantly exciting vibes. People are having a great time all around, and not afraid to show it either. From here, you'll have a great view of that magnificent Alhambra. Just behind us, we have the Church of San Nicolas, which was built in the 16th century on the site of a former mosque. You see this interesting structure next to it? It is actually one of the many cisterns that once held clean water for a pretty extensive network. Some like this still function today. It is now time for us to go inside a 15th century palace to have a look around. This place was originally built to house members of the Nasrid dynasty. The examples of Moorish architecture that you'll find inside here are pretty spectacular. And it also offers views of some amazing scenery in multiple directions. After the fall of Granada to the Christian reconquest, this building was used as a residence for local Catholic officials. It would later be incorporated into the Franciscan convent, which was part of the monastery of Santa Isabella la Real. This place is somewhat of a hidden gem, but it's one you definitely need to seek out while exploring the town.
Alright, so that was Granada. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Now I will warn you, I was here from morning to evening and didn't get to do everything I wanted, so when you plan your visit, you might want to make sure you get a couple of nights here, maybe 2 to 3 days, just so you can fit it all in. and definitely book those Alhambra tickets way in advance because it does fill up. Until next time, so long from Granada, Spain.